you got me on sale last year.
Mm-hmm.
The sale's over.
Nice.
Now you got to pay full price. So they're bringing people in. They're making like $20,000 a year more than me, and I'm training them. So it came time for my raise or my review. I'm like, yeah, we got to talk, And I got every lecture in the book as to, we can't do that. We can't give that big of a raise. And these were my exact words to this guy. I was like, my man, listen, you're looking at this the wrong way. You got me on sale last year.
Mm-hmm.
The sale's over.
Nice.
Now you got to pay full price.
Damn! Love that line.
And he basically wanted to kill me. So they came back. They gave me like a $6,000 raise, which was nothing.
Yep.
And and it was take it or leave it was his exact words to me. I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to keep me from looking for another job either.
Welcome to the podcast dedicated to real estate, insurance, and building your business. Join us as we take you along our own business building journeys with additional wisdom from our network of local and national experts. Welcome to Bricks and Risk.
This episode is brought to you by Property Management Redefined. PMR is not just managing properties, they're creating partnerships that build long-term success for property owners. John and his team can be reached at manage@gopmr.com or by phone 267-753-6005. Tim,
Yes, Sean.
who's a good client for PMR?
Property Management Redefined is looking for property owners who value three things: accountability, reliability, and a results-driven approach. They want to maximize returns, but still provide client and tenant satisfaction.
There's a lot of property managers out there.
Yes, there are.
What does PMR do really well?
Biggest thing is they're seamless and they're worry-free. So with that approach in mind, it allows the property owner to put their trust in PMR and know that the results will be there. The other thing I think a property owner is really going to value because they do it so well is that they have a local expert team, boots on the ground, managing your properties and your tenants' expectations every day so that you feel good about your investments.
We have millions of listeners out there.
Tens of millions.
If they want more information, how do they find PMR?
Right here, guys. Reach out to John Sachs and his team at Property Management Redefined. They'll take good care of you. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bricks and Risk. I'm Tim Garrity.
And I'm Tim Garrity's co-host, Sean Mooney.
Today, Sean, we have another local expert, a mortgage expert. We have Tom Mellett, branch manager with Keswick Mortgage Group. How you doing today, Tom?
Doing great, guys. How are you? Thank you for
Welcome
having
on
me.
in.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in. So a little background on Tom. He's a 24-year veteran of the mortgage industry, and he recently left the largest retail lender in the country to start his own, Keswick Mortgage Group. Shout out to Glenside.
That's right.
Tommy is laser focused on delivering an exceptional mortgage experience at unmatched rates. The keys to a successful transaction for him are simple: communication, communication, communication. He's a proud graduate of both Bishop McDevitt High School.
Correct. Shout out.
Go Lancers.
There we go.
And Penn State University.
Go Nits.
And he's the father of two boys.
Yes,
I get
I
all
am.
that right?
Got it all right, Tim.
All right. So let's start off this one with something you love, which are cars.
Let's do it.
So you're a
One
car,
of my favorite topics.
you're a car guy. You own a bunch of cars, fixed cars, flip cars. Why cars?
So I grew up in the car business. My father owned a dealership and a car rental agency for 35 years. Same location. Actually, well, within a block of each other.
Oh, nice.
Grew it and bought a bigger building down the street. But it's honestly what I thought I was going to do as a career path. I like it. I love it. I enjoy it. My father's probably one of the best guys you'll ever meet in your life. We just weren't necessarily a great fit working together, as as happens with
As
family.
sometimes
right?
that goes with family business.
Sometimes that's inevitable. Shout out to my pop. Love you. You know,
In all the best terms possible.
I would say he and I have a much better relationship because we wound up not working together.
That's cool.
Makes sense.
But I've always kind of done the car thing on the side. I mean, without I couldn't tell you how many cars I've owned personally. I'm not even talking about cars I've flipped. I'm going to say the number is well north of 200.
Whoa.
I've had a lot of motorcycles. I like those too. I enjoy it.
You ever own a Monte Carlo?
I have not.
No.
I have not. But I mean, I could definitely hook you up with a nice one. We'll get you some T-tops.
Yeah.
Hook it up like Denzel in Training
Yeah.
Day. It'd be rolling.
That's what
Everybody's gonna be getting their insurance from you.
Oh, man.
No, that's my guy.
Mellett's got the Hummer. Mooney's got the Monte
Mooney's
Carlo.
got the Monty. It's Mooney's Monty.
Yeah.
Mooney's Monty. I love that.
Terry, can we get we'll just right here, we'll get that picture of the placard up. Mooney's Monty.
So were you, all right, so here's a good question. So your dad's an entrepreneur.
Yep.
And was running his business. So you kind of grew up in it. Was that kind of like your high school, college job too? Like how did you like get involved in it to realize it's like, yo, I love you, Dad, but like probably not going to work together?
So my dad opened his business in 1988. So, I was 10 years old. So, I mean, I saw him, work, and he worked in the car industry, prior to that. His whole life he did.
Wait, was it on Easton Road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right across the street from Copper Beach.
Right up by the mini golf and Copper Beach.
Deli?
Yeah. That's exactly where it was.
Yeah.
So, I kind of, I mean, I was 10 years old. I didn't really know exactly what was going on, but I was old enough to realize that he was now his own boss. And, eventually, kind of learned the lessons as to why he did it that way and everything. So it was a great example to grow up around. And when I was 12 years old, I think, I got my first job at McNally's in Chestnut Hill.
Yeah, shout out to McNally's.
And the Schmitter. So I
among other yummy things.
Chicken cheesesteak, number one. If you haven't had a chicken cheesesteak, it's the best chicken cheesesteak.
I think I had it one time when I was over with you because you insisted. So
it is really good. And actually, full disclosure, I'm probably like the only person that ever worked there. I'm not a fan of the Schmitter.
Hey, everybody strokes for different folks.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm done.
Get out.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cut.
But Ann McNally was my neighbor. She lived a block behind me.
Oh, no way.
And she had I can't believe I remember this. She had a black lab. His name was Clancy. And I loved the dog. And like, we didn't have a dog as a kid. And I'm a dog nut too.
Yeah.
So I used to like literally like just walk around the block, like just to like bump into her to like see the dog and play with him. And she eventually gave me a job, like walking the dog. So that's kind of how I started, and that's how our relationship got going. And then she offered me a job at the bar. So I was like 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
Carrying in cases of beer from the alley out back and stacking them in the basement. Yeah.
Is it the alley out back or the dungeon basement down below?
They got wheels.
So it was
wheels to get it up.
It was from the alley to the dungeon.
Yeah.
I remember getting stuck in the walk-in one time with the door closing behind me and not knowing how to open it. So, I probably wasn't their best employee. Yep. But, that just sort of set the tone. I learned very early on that, if I wanted something, to work for it.
Yep.
And, one of the other really valuable lessons my dad taught me was saving. So, he's like, listen, you're working now. Half of it goes in the bank, half of it you do whatever the hell you want with. And, I've tried to, obviously with, expenses and family and everything, saving 50% of your income is pretty difficult these days.
Yep.
But just that idea of, A, working for something that you want, B, setting a goal, and then, backing your way into like, all right, well, how am I going to get to it? And C, just that concept of saving, so that you have it for when you need it. Were all instilled in me, relatively young.
That's awesome. Really good stuff.
It's a very similar story, right? Like, I saw my parents, my mom and our family like own a business, and I think seeing
your mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think seeing that early on, if you're not exposed to it earlier, I think it's a harder leap.
Yeah, I agree. It's really kind of, I feel like, same thing. My dad's full commission loan officer for over 40 years, and like my grandfather was commercial real estate guy, owned his own commercial brokerage, and I think he even did that like in his 50s. But to your point, it's almost like happening in your life and you really don't even know it. And
it's your normal.
it's bits of wisdom almost being like passed down to you subliminally through like conversation or
Right.
like they're just telling you things when you're young.
Osmosis.
There you go. Osmosis. No, that's a really good point.
And so I think you're more, so a lot of people have this fear that like, oh, I can't give up my W-2, right? Like
Sure.
they clutch onto it like, what would I do? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think if you grow up in that where like your family owns a business or some entrepreneurial track that you grew up with, you're more comfortable going that route than maybe someone else that just never was exposed to it.
There's this fear of the unknown, right? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's, you know, obviously there's some unknown going into any, you know, new venture,
Yeah.
but you know, I think, you know, to your point, like having that exposure to it and experience and growing up around it, you're right. It kind of mitigates the fear a bit, I think. You know, and you know, proof of concept, right? Like you saw it work.
Yeah.
Like you saw somebody else
Yep.
do this, and
Yep.
this is their work ethic. So, all right, well, if I can follow that, you know, follow that plan or guideline or whatever the hell you want to call it, you know, mine's going to work too.
Yep.
If it wasn't mortgages for you, would you be doing cars in some form or fashion, you think?
Probably.
Yeah, how'd you
Yeah,
fall on the
yeah.
mortgages?
Minus the family aspect of things.
So I still actually do buy and sell cars on the side, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like a hobby that sort of turned into like a side business.
So you were being for real with that Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I'll go get you one.
All right.
100%. I still got my 5.0 Mustang.
Do you watch
So-
that? Do you watch that show where they call up people and they're like, "I want this car," and these guys scour the
Yeah.
country? I forgot what the name. It's a great show.
It's very scripted, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
the
you know,
concept.
right?
Yeah.
There's car people.
But yeah, no, and that's exactly it. It's like any other industry. It's like a network, right? So, like I can tell you, I could name you probably 5 people right now that own Monte Carlos. I could probably, if it was the right number, I could probably get all 5 of them to sell them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's you know, you kind of, it's like anything else. You know, for as many people in the real estate industry, the insurance industry, it's a small world, right?
Yeah.
You know, we all kind of know each other, you know,
Yeah.
or at least know of each other.
Right.
Car world's no different.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, I could tell you, I might not remember that guy's name, but I know the car.
Yeah.
You know, if I see him walking the street, that guy's got the 56 Chevy, you know, or whatever.
You probably
know,
got
just-
VIN numbers. I could probably like ask you for VIN numbers, and you're like, beautiful mind. Like, oh yeah, that one ends in 6, 7, 8, 9.
You might be giving me a little too much credit there, but yeah, I mean, it's something.
It's your
something I
network,
enjoy.
right? So like, it's the same thing that we do, just in a different industry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I will say, like, you know, to answer your question though, so like I said, the cars are sort of like a side business,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, but, you know, do something you love, you never work a day in your life. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, you kind of start to hate it a little bit, because no matter what you're in, there's going to be problems, there's going
Yeah.
to be work, there's going to be stress.
It's a grind. It's always going to be
Yeah.
a grind.
So my answer is, yeah, I would probably do it. But as a little, you know, side note to that, I don't know that I would necessarily be as much of a car enthusiast
Right.
as I am if I did it.
Yeah.
for
The
a living.
scarcity kind of creates more of a passion
Yeah.
than, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the McNally story, which I did not know. That's awesome.
So awesome.
Yep.
Working with your pop.
Yep.
Where did mortgages come into play?
So mortgages came into play. So I worked for my pop all through high school. First year of college, I went to you know, Penn State Ogonce, stayed home, worked, saved money, and then I went up to Penn State, Maine, and like I was basically like a dog when the leash breaks. I mean, I think I had like 70 credits done at Ogonce, and I still had to take like a summer class to graduate after going to Maine.
That's hard to do.
That's what it's all about.
You really have to work
You can
at
read
that.
between the lines and
Get your
figure out
class
what-
time in
you know.
here. You go up there, you go and party.
Yeah. So, and I did have a job up there too. I worked at the airport, which actually was fun as hell to work at.
No way.
That was like its own little like community and network too. And like there was all kinds of crazy stuff because I worked there at night. You know, there's only like 4 flights that come in at night. So there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what was going on up there.
That would be like you working at Friendly's and only 4 people coming for dinner at nighttime. You can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
What would go on?
Definitely.
The kitchen got lively, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I work with Russ Nelson. Shout out to Russ Nelson.
Russ.
Russ's birthday was yesterday, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Russ.
Might actually be today.
All right.
Oh, maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think
Terry-
it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Terry, can you fact check that when Russ's birthday was?
Yes. I reached out either way.
Shout out to Russ, though, either way.
I can't keep track of my days. All right, so you're at Penn State, Maine.
Yeah, so Penn State, Maine, graduated, came home, worked with my pop for maybe about a year. And, you know, there's a little more to the story I'm not going to get into. But, yeah, long story short, it just didn't work out. So I needed a job. So I took a job with this company in Norristown. It was like a commercial property maintenance. And my title was like an account manager, but basically what we did was we got these contracts from these big like corporations, and their main focus was all like interior, like janitorial services. So, like floors and windows and stuff like that. And right at the time I joined, they got into, they got the first exterior contract, and it was with Rite Aid drugstores. So we had like the landscaping for it, and it was little things, like they would have like a little planter bed or like parking lot sweeping and things like that. And then that winter we expanded into snow plowing, and we happened to have a really brutal winter that year. Like even like stores down south were getting snow.
Oh wow!
So my job was to find subcontractors in the area to take them, and like the margins these people were holding were insane.
Snow. Make money on snow.
Well, yeah, but I mean the contractors were getting screwed. Like
you're saying
they might be paying us $500 per push, and the contractor's getting $120.
Yeah.
So so I did that job for a year, and I was making like no money. I was like fresh out of college basically, and it was time for my annual review, and raise. And in the meantime, it was myself and another guy that started this exterior division. I think in the year, we were like 14 people. So we expanded pretty quickly. So they were bringing people in. They're making like $20,000 a year more than me, and I'm training them. So it came time for my raise or my review. I'm like, yeah, we got to talk, And I got every lecture in the book as to we can't do that. We can't give that big of a raise. And these were my exact words to this guy. I was like, my man, listen. You're looking at this the wrong way. You got me on sale last year. Mm-hmm. The sale's over. Nice. Now you got to pay full price.
Love that line.
And he basically wanted to kill me. So they came back. They gave me like a $6,000 raise, which was nothing.
Yep.
And and it was take it or leave it was his exact words to me. I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to keep me from looking for another job either. And about a month later, I quit. I gave my notice, did 2 weeks, did it the right way. And the president of the company, who I had a pretty good relationship with, came up to me. He's like, I heard you're leaving. He was a car guy too, which is sort of like how we would talk. Yeah. And he had just bought a new, at the time, like an E46 BMW M3. And he's like, I heard you leaving. He's like, I can't believe it. He's like, why are you leaving? And I looked at him. I was like, because I want to drive an M3 too, and I left. So, and I just bought my first house.
Oh, wow.
So,
you bought young.
I did. I was 23.
Yeah, that's young.
Wait, you bought a house and then you quit your job?
Yeah. Like 2 months later.
Yeah. Right.
That's like
Let's go.
When I started my insurance office, and then we were like pregnant like 2 months later. I'm like, oh, this is not going to.
Yeah. So I trust me, like I had some like, what in the hell am I doing thoughts.
Yeah.
But I will say, my first house, it was actually right up the street. It was on Osborne Street.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. You guys remember T. Hogan's up
there?
Yeah. Right? That was like our spot.
Yeah,
we love that place.
So I had two of my buddies living with me. They were each paying me $400 a month in rent. My mortgage, all in, taxes, insurance was $792.
Wow.
Yeah. I would kill to have that again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Maniac Rocks.
Wait, T. Hogan's, didn't they have like Guinness night on Thursdays or something?
Once you got friendly with them, it was Guinness night every night.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Guinness drinker.
Sweet little bar.
I remember I was like, it's Thursday, let's go get
I think it's called like the Wissahickon.
Yeah, something. It's something now. And they always had really cold Miller High Life. I love Miller High Life. And people laugh at me when I ordered at places. Like, people you order and like, let me get a Grey Goose Martini. Let me get this. I'm like, you have High Life? And like, they look at me like, who the hell is this guy? But I'll tell you what.
That was like when my bar was Crescent Inn.
Oh, yeah.
So I and it was Yingling.
Love the Crescent. Shout out to the Crescent in Manayunk.
Yingling, I want it in a can.
So like, I can't drink lager. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But
That's what I wanted to treat myself.
But I get High Life everywhere because nobody else drinks it. It's always cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been around for 120 years for a reason. Let's be honest.
I
You know
love
what I mean?
champagne
Like,
and beers, baby.
Champagne and beers.
Nick DiCarlo's a big
Big High Life fan.
High Life fan.
Gotta love those clear
Listen,
bottles.
Nick and
For
I
sure.
would get along,
Yeah.
famously. So my buddies, like I said, they each pay me $400 a month
great.
in rent. So my
You're
mortgage
flush.
was covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have free labor.
Yeah.
So I had the house for, I don't know, like 2.5 years. And we put a kitchen in it, bathroom,
Wow.
put a deck off the back, central air, and finished the basement. I spent like 10 grand.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and like, we did it because, like everybody like, oh, like we're gonna have people over, like make the place nice,
Yeah.
so it was great. So I figured what the hell, I might as well quit my job too.
Yeah.
But the reason I quit was, I was kind of like starting to like feel like, and I had a couple buddies who were selling mortgages that were, same thing. They were young and making
Yeah.
really good money.
Yeah.
And, I just gotten a mortgage. I didn't understand half the stuff the guy said to me, And, my buddy Mike, I sat him down, so just like walk me through it. Like what exactly do you do? And he tells me, and I'm like, dude, this is what I do now. Like I'm selling these poor bastards on taking these contracts that they're getting screwed on.
Yeah.
You're giving people something like they actually want. Like they're coming to you for it.
like
I'm
an
like,
asset.
that's how this works?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, sign me up. And never looked back. That was 25 years ago.
Was that for like a small bank? Was that for like a big loan company? Who?
I'm actually embarrassed to admit this, but I will.
Yeah.
Let's
Tee
do
it
it.
up.
So I'm going to preface this by saying the best lesson I got out of that was what not to do in business.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So it was with AmeriQuest Mortgage Company, who is no longer.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember them.
Huge subprime lender back in the day.
Okay.
Yep.
And caught on pretty quick. I only worked for them for about 6 months. I caught on like pretty quickly that like this doesn't really seem like it's sustainable for a lot
This
of
is
these
what,
people.
around like 2001, 2002? Somewhere around
It
there?
was 2001. Yeah, it was 2001.
Wait, so if you had to like put it on a scale and you were selling these contracts to the subcontractors or selling these loans to people, like which one kind of tipped higher than the other?
As far as like from a moral standpoint,
Yeah. Like you got squeamish about like selling this or that.
I would say I was more squeamish about the mortgages. The contractors had a choice whether or not to take the
Yeah.
contract if it made sense or not.
Right.
Yep.
I think a lot of people that were getting these mortgages didn't really understand what they were getting.
Yep. It's people.
And it was, they say that term predatory lending, and it's very accurate.
And what were the signals like early on? So you didn't know mortgages, you didn't know
You
like
didn't know what was going on.
So you got in, started working, taking
I didn't, but
applications?
I'm pretty good at math. Like I could understand, like if you have $2,000 a month coming in and your bills are $2,500 a month, no matter how much money you have in the bank, you're eventually going to run out.
Yeah.
And they were one of like the
Sell, like Wolf of Wall Street, get in there and sell, and ring a bell.
but also it was like if the deal didn't work, you would just make it a stated income deal.
Find a way to make it work.
Right. So if you have somebody who's a W-2 employee, the only reason you ever have to make that a stated income deal is because you're lying about how much money they make.
Correct.
To give them a loan they can't afford to pay back.
Correct.
So I'm like, all right, like I don't really think this is like the right way to operate. But like I said, it was a good lesson in what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my manager that was there left, and when she left, she went to another company out of Texas that was very short-lived too. It was called Aegis Lending, and like these guys from Texas, like they got like the hats and the boots, and they're claiming to be Christians and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the same deal in a different package. And I'm
Okay.
like, no, like I don't think
I'm all right.
this is right, So I my neighbor on Osborne Street was also in the mortgage business. He worked for so he worked for, shout out to Billy Nicholson. Everybody in Roxbury
Oh,
knows him.
yeah. I know
Billy.
Bill.
Everybody knows Billy.
Yep.
So
He's a legend.
Billy was working for a company in Conshohocken. It was like a legit company. And
Not cowboy hats and boots. And,
he was legit. And he was
Crosses
like
around
Bill
their
was
neck.
also into like motorcycles and stuff. So like we got like friendly on that as well. And we started talking, and why don't we just do this ourselves? And at the time it was a great partnership, like a lot of partnerships.
What year was
eventually
that? Just to timestamp it.
2000.
7?
No. like 2003 maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Yeah, I was only about a year and a half in the industry at this point.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But even still, so a year and a half doing mortgage, and you're like, hey, let's start our own thing.
Yeah, it's that entrepreneurial bug.
And it was great. And truth be told, and I would be willing to bet you that he would echo the same thing if you had him in here. Neither one of us could have done it without the other one at the time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the network and the connections that he had.
Yeah.
But I knew how to run the business.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of how we like divided it up. Like, hey, listen, like you drive stuff through the door,
Sales,
and I'll get it closed.
Yeah, you had like complementary skill sets.
Right.
It's like it's sales and
Copper
administration.
Hill. This is the story of Copper Hill. All three of us had different skill sets. That's how we set out.
Yep.
Right.
Hey everyone, this is Tim, your favorite Bricks and Risk co-host. But don't tell Sean. I hope you're enjoying this episode, and I'll get right back to it in a moment. Our audience grows through word of mouth. So if you would please take a moment of your time and give us a review on the platform you're on, that would be fantastic. Please also help spread the B&R word by sharing your favorite episode with a friend. We greatly appreciate your time and trust. Now, back to the show.
And they complement each other and they work, and it's, a recipe for success.
Mm-hmm.
And we did really well with it. I mean, we were pretty young, making pretty good money. Not necessarily making the smartest decisions with that money at the time, like a lot of people, but we did okay. I mean, everybody came out unscathed. And then he and I had a little bit of falling out, but the market was starting to slow down a lot too.
Yeah.
And
it's like, 2006 now, 2007?
This would be like the end of 07.
07.
So we kind of just were like, all right, like the pot's kind of getting too small for both of us to pull from it the way we want to. Like, there's no point in both of us trying to make a living out of what we're netting after everything, And we had an agreement going in that if one of us wanted out, we had to be willing to accept what we wanted from the other one first. So, we sat down. I was like, listen, man, like, if you want it, just, throw me a number. If you want me to keep it, like, I'll throw you a number and, we'll go from there. And, he decided he wanted to keep it, and he did well with it for a little while after that. And then, fortunately for him, just bad timing, like 08, 09 happened, and, it kind of sunk it. And, I didn't completely get out of the business, but I actually went back for about a year or so and worked with my dad again too in the car business. Just wholesaling cars and doing some stuff like around the shop. And then I still kept the mortgage business going, but it like I almost kind of did it. I hate to say part time, but in reality,
it was such a slow time.
Yeah, there wasn't really there wasn't enough to fill a 40-hour
there was
week.
Nothing. Like there was no business.
Right.
Like 2008 to 2010 has got to be like one of the slowest periods like in U.S. history of like real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And refinances.
I mean, everything. It was foreclosures left and right.
Yeah, no one did anything.
Did you guys compete with Diamond?
I remember Diamond.
Diamond.
Yep. Diamond Auto Leasing.
Yeah.
So
they were down east, like
East
all
Road.
the way.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
So Andy Diamond Leasing was Andy Diamond.
Yeah.
He's actually a great guy.
Yeah.
He's still in the business.
Oh.
He
not there.
No.
Yeah.
No. So he sold that business to a good buddy of mine. His name's Ralph DiNapoli. And then Ralph sold it a couple years ago, moved down to Florida. And Andy still has a office where he still wholesales cars and does some leasing.
Yeah.
Out of Joey Marino's shop in Willow Grove at Autobahn Motorsports.
Skinny Joey?
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Different, but
Yeah.
So yeah, they were.
I don't
know. I don't even want to say like competitor.
No,
like, it's more like
you would know each other just because your proximity and what you guys.
Yeah, you're all in the
network.
same circles and in the same area.
Gus's dad bought like 15 cars from there or something. Like every car.
He had a great reputation.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So, falling out, first mortgage business you started.
Go back to dad.
You're working with your pop. You're like, hey, let's get back into business together.
It was a fun time to work for my dad too, because at that point, like my dad was buying and selling like a lot of exotic cars. My dad's a big car guy too, so
Yeah.
a bunch of like Ferraris and like
Oh, wow.
911 turbos and
He was
things like
getting into
that.
it.
So it was it was some cool stuff to be around,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then, what was your next step after that? So after that, you've always kind of kept one foot in the mortgage business.
Yeah. So I stayed in, and again, things sort of have a way of like, hey, I guess this is why we weren't working together, I mortgage was starting to pick back up a little bit, and I was like, you know what, like if I'm going to do this, like I really I got to do it committed. Like I just got to, be smart when it's good so that I can ride it out when it's bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I did. And I just, kind of like rebuild it almost from the ground up. Set up a lot of new, partner relationships.
Yep.
Kind of started like really like working my sphere again. I couldn't even tell you how many. Like if you look at my phone, there's probably 6,000 or 7,000 phone numbers on my phone.
Yeah.
I have every client I've ever had. I still have their number.
I'm
on my
like
phone.
that too.
So when you start, so what year is that? When you were like, I got to get committed, get it full time, get this thing going.
That was 2010, I believe. 2010.
And was that like on your own, or what was the?
No, so to really get back into it full time, I took a job at GMAC in Fort Washington.
Oh yeah.
And it was a really interesting role.
Stevenson worked there doing.
You
work.
did. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
It was
big.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And it was mostly like portfolio retention work.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like inbound stuff,
Yep.
which was good because it was steady at least, And met some great people there, made some really good relationships. And after I was there for about a year, they decided to launch a retail division again, which they had previously.
Yeah.
They actually had like a bunch of brick and mortar places at the time.
They actually had a whole
They did.
insurance department.
Yeah.
That was a big operation.
Yeah.
It was huge. I mean, it was in the old Expo Center.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
it
a
was
really big
awesome.
place.
Yeah.
So when they launched, I hated the inside sales thing.
Yeah.
I was doing well,
Yeah.
but I didn't like it. Like
Wasn't for you.
Yeah, it's like chained to a desk all day.
Yeah.
You're making 100 phone calls a day. Like that's not me. That's not how I work.
Yeah.
They're listening to your calls. Hey, you said this. I'm like, listen, that's how I talk. Like,
Yeah.
and
Leave
the
me
client
alone.
didn't seem to mind. So let's just roll with it and close the deal. So when they launched the retail division, I applied, and they initially told me no, and I was like, that's weird because basically all my
They're
experience
like, Tom,
is
we listened to you on the phone.
Yeah,
I don't think this
exactly.
is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
work out.
That's not gonna
that's
fly,
not the
buddy.
image we portray here at GMAC. So fortunately, I got introduced to the guy who was the sales manager for the team, and he was just on site one day.
Yeah.
We started talking and hit it off, and he's like, you got a lot of like experience on like the retail side of this. He's like, you got any interest? I'm like, funny you should ask.
Oh yeah.
Like I was told that I'm not qualified, and
Yeah.
he's like, why don't you come work with me? So I was the first hire for that retail division,
wow.
first salesperson hire
Yeah.
for that retail division. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it for quite a while, but eventually just another better
Yeah.
opportunity presented itself,
Yeah.
and I took it, and just pretty much every move since then has been a move for the better. Some lessons learned along the way, which pretty much are invaluable, I would say.
What's so great about your story is that it really ties into like a lot of what we talk about here, which is relationships.
Right.
It's like you even getting to know Billy. It's like, he lives right there.
Right.
And then you're jumping into it there, and then you go to GMAC and you meet the person who's doing the line of work you want.
Right.
And the McNallys and the cars and like what I find just so valuable about all that is that it's not necessarily like, well, I need to go do this because I'm really smart or I'm good on the phone or I'm good at sales. Like you were just meeting the right people, probably asking the right questions, and then there was just an opportunity. You can either take or leave the opportunity. I used to say this all the time to my wife Maria until I'm like blue in the face. I'm like, there are opportunities all day, every day. You either take them or you leave them. Some people leave every opportunity out there, and some people see the right ones, and they're like, I'm going to give that a shot. I feel like that's got some legs, and I can really do something with it. which, I want to dive into some of the harder things we talk about too, which is really like biggest struggle. And you had said biggest struggle for you is delegating tasks. So you had your own mortgage operation before, you had GMAC, your loan officer for cross country for a while.
Yeah.
And you recently, shout out to Keswick Mortgage Group, decided to go back out on your own.
I did.
Do your own thing again, which puts delegating tasks right at number one.
Yeah, it does.
When you run your own business. So why has delegating tasks been a struggle for you?
So I will say that I'm getting better at it. Processors either absolutely love me or they hate me. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
And it's because of the delegating, and it's not that I don't trust them. It's nothing like that at all. I like to be very involved with my clients, my files, and I like to know my files inside and out. So I'll give you an example. Recent years, and I mean I do this too. So I mean I'm not like saying like I'm the exception, but I would say 99% of my clients apply online. I'm going to tell you the biggest struggle I have with the online application is I don't know my clients or my files anywhere near as well as I did when I would take them on paper or take them over the phone.
Yeah.
I would be able to get a mortgage application from people. I'd have 90% of the application without ever asking them a question.
Yep.
I just let them talk and I listen. Or they would bring something up and I would just transition them to the next thing and write it down. I used to have a stack of the old paper 1003s. Like, people I worked with, like, why are you doing that?
Remember those.
But that's how I did it, and that's what worked for me. We get to the end. I'm like, all right, listen, like, all I really need is your date of birth and your social and permission to pull your credit, and I'll have your pre-approval.
We're
like,
off to the races.
What about the application? Like, we already did it. So the reason I have the issue with delegation is because I feel like everything I give up is like something that I'm not involved in. But what I'm getting much better at is realizing I don't need to be involved in everything.
Yep.
And it's probably going to be a better experience for my client if I'm not. If I let my processor that has, and my operations team is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of my biggest concerns with leaving cross country and going on my own, because I don't have a bad word to say about cross country mortgage. It's a great company. Where cross country and I grew apart is that cross country is really being built out and designed, and this is not a knock on them, for these people to want to be these like mega producers in their market, like a Jeremy Durkin. Jeremy's a great guy, one of the nicest guys in the business, in my opinion. Keith Binsfeld, same thing. Keith and I used to work on the same roof, but I don't operate that way. Like I like that hands-on approach. I don't need to do $100 million.
You're not trying to scale this thing to some massive volume number and just be like, oh, I did all this volume.
What I want is I want to make a great living. I want to deliver an exceptional experience to my client. I don't want them to have any questions at the end. And I don't want them to ever look at something at the end and be like, I could have gotten something better somewhere else.
Yep.
So as I'm getting to that point, I'm realizing like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe focus on that aspect of it and let the people who do the other parts better than you, let them do it.
Yeah. Shout out to Lending Heights, by the way.
That's right. Lending Heights, best around.
Is that the podcast with the Kelsey brothers?
That's New Heights.
That's New Heights.
Oh, New Heights.
So Lending Heights is the parent company of my Keswick Mortgage Group.
Oh, okay.
So the relationship that I have with Lending Heights is they handle all of my operations. I have access to all their investor relationships. It is.
Do you know what it is? It's like Iron Peak.
Oh, okay.
I almost don't want them to watch this because I feel like I got too good of a deal out of it.
Yeah.
So sorry, Jay. But
yeah.
But no, it works out really well. And to their credit too, like it's the whole theory of like, what was that saying? A rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
So the more volume that I bring in, the more we do as a whole, the better it is for all of us too.
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome.
So, so then the way it's structured is, do they provide access to the banks?
Yes.
Okay. And then they also provide what, back office services?
Yeah, operational.
Correct, yeah.
Processing,
Yeah, so
underwriting.
processing, closing's all done there. The underwriting is actually done at the investors.
Oh, the lender.
So then that actually, from what I'm gathering, is really the best marriage for you.
It's perfect.
Because it allows you to work your network, work your sphere, network and bring the deals in, and then everything is kind of bolted on the back end that complements everything you're doing on the front end.
It does. Yeah. It's you nailed it. You nailed it on the head. I mean, it really is like the perfect marriage, and it's built in a way where like we approach the business the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very much like customer focused. It's not numbers. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, hey, you did $3.5 million in December, do 4.5 in January, or you suck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
it's hey, great month, and we want those 5-star reviews. You know what I mean? Like we want everybody. We don't want anybody to go through the process and at the end say that either they had a bad experience or they have a regret or they think they could have done better somewhere else.
Yeah, doing what's cool though, that really plays into the delegation because again, if you don't really have them help you on the operation side, the operation has to be built by you.
Right.
Like you have to build the operation. You have to find the right admin or processing or closing.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
but so my original. So when I left cross country, I'll be honest with you, I was actually toying with it for about 2 years, and I wasn't 100% sure how I wanted to do it, and then I'd kind of talk myself out of it, and I was like, all right, you know what, I got to do it. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. Right? I'm not getting any younger. I'm 48 years old next month. It's time to just do it.
Yeah. And
I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go be a one-man shop. I'm going to do everything myself, and it's going to be awesome. And it's I'm not going to have any expenses. I'm going to sit back and get fat. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, this is the dumbest idea you've ever had. You gotta reel it in, bro. You're not going to do it all.
Thinking.
Fortunately, I recognized that and didn't.
Yeah. That would be like Ann McNally being like, I'm going to be the bartender, I'm going to be the cook, I'm going to be the hostess.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And so
or Ryan.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, like I said, you're fortunate realize, and and the other thing, thank God I didn't go that route because I love the name, the Keswick Mortgage Group. I want people to know, it's very uber local and everything.
Yeah.
But could you imagine, if I'd launched that model with that brand, I would have to close it and start over again. You know.
So you had this idea, and then you kind of pared it back and said, "Oh, I'm going to do this on my own, and I'm going to have to find the right team." So obviously you landed with Lending Heights, but who else is there anybody else there that would give you that? How many places were you looking to go to make sure?
How'd you even hear about them? Was that just through discovery on your own, or was it a relationship?
So that was an introduction.
We go back to the relationships.
100%. So like most people in the mortgage business, get recruited all day, every day. I've probably gotten 10 recruiting texts today.
Since you walked in here.
Yeah. And that's, that's me. Rob Wishnick probably gets 100 a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a recruiter from United Wholesale Mortgage who, called me. He was a really nice guy, and his name is David. And I would talk to him because he was nice. He wasn't hey, I want you to talk to my VP of sales, and he's going to put you on the private.
He's trying to get to know you.
Yeah, exactly. And so we had a couple like pretty good conversations, and I was like, dude, listen, I'm just not ready to make a move. I appreciate it, and it's like, is it okay if I follow up with you? Sure, absolutely. So he would, and sometimes I couldn't talk to him, sometimes I would, whatever. It just sort of depended, and. Yeah, he calls me, and I was in a really shitty mood. I had just had it with something at work, and he calls me. And I don't know if he could just tell it in my voice or what. And he's like, "I'm catching a bad time, aren't I?" I'm like, "My man, you caught me at the best time." I'm like, "Let's talk."
Yeah,
so
I'm ready to rock.
So
let's go, dog.
We let's see what we're all about here.
Yeah.
So we started talking, and I kind of told him my idea of a one-man shop, and he was like, yeah, you could do that. He's like, but you might want to consider some other things. I'm like, I have been, And he's like, I would like you to talk to somebody. He's like, we have he's like, our biggest broker in Pennsylvania. He's like, they're out in Pittsburgh. He's like, it's not your market. He's like, but talk to them. I'm like, all right, like, what the hell? You know what I mean? If nothing else, it's another relationship. You know, I don't view anybody else in the mortgage business as competition. Like,
No.
I think there's a ton of business out there. And like, I love networking with other mortgage people. Like, there's so much more benefit to collaborating than anything else, So, he puts me on the phone with Vinny, who you met, Vinny Neccarelli.
Shout out to Vin.
Vin. And it turned out Vinny had actually been calling me also, and I was blowing him off. So,
Yeah.
So started out
there you go, Vin. Way to hustle, man. I love it.
But
what are the odds that Vinny's a car guy?
Vinny's a little bit of a car guy.
All right.
It's a good golfer too.
He is a good golfer. Yeah, he is a good golfer. We talked, and good conversation, and it was the same thing. It wasn't the hard sell. It was like, listen, like, I provide you some information.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you digest it? Let's talk again in a week or something like that. And I remember like being excited for the next call. And I was like, this is like a good sign.
Yeah.
And we had the next call and it went great, and Jason got on the phone as well, and who Jason and his wife Kristen own Lending Heights.
Yep.
So
You're on the phone with the owner of the company.
yeah, so on the phone with him, and I told him, I was like, listen, man, like, my biggest concern is delegating, and like, if your operations aren't on point, like, I'm not in, like, I don't know what to tell you, you know. So I had another call with Matt, director of operations. I spoke to Tori, who's the processing manager, who they're both fantastic people, very, very good at their jobs. And it was like all the confidence that I needed that they had it like locked down and did it the right way. So Jason and his wife Jason's actually from Westchester.
Right.
And he and his wife have some family in Jersey. So they were going to Jersey, and he's like, dude, listen, he's like, I'm going to be in Jersey this week. I'm going to come over to Pennsylvania. He's like, let's just grab lunch and sit down and talk.
Nice.
And we did. He answered some questions, and having a phone interview is great, but like, I hate Zoom calls. I mean, I know they're just a part of the way business is done these days, but I don't like them. So actually, like, sitting down across the table with somebody, be able to look them in the eye and like shake their hand, like that's the way I like to do business.
Yep.
So, we wrapped up our lunch. I took him to Cafe Carmela.
Nice.
Which one?
Did you get some
Huntington
steaks?
Valley. Huntington Valley.
The new one,
Got some steaks?
We did.
Yeah.
Did you get signed up for their? I don't mean to cut you here.
You're
but,
good. I love that place, man. We're there like
what
once
are
a
you
week.
signed up for with them?
So during Christmas, they had like 12 days of giveaways.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
What,
how
like
the hell
gift
I
cards
missed
and
that?
stuff?
So like if you like their Instagram post, you could. It was like
Of course you
was
signed
like
up for that.
Joe's my neighbor. I didn't even know about this.
yeah. one of the things was like you'd have like I think it was like cutlets for like a week or something, and
Oh,
or like
man.
one
I
was
love
like a
this.
dinner for 15 people.
Shout out to Cafe Carmela.
It
Philly.
is.
If you haven't tried it,
Philly and Huntington
try
Valley.
it.
There's two of
Don't-
them, right? Philly and Huntington
Yeah.
Valley?
Don't
Yep.
try. Just go because you will love it.
It's fantastic.
All right.
But no, to answer your question, I was not part of that. I didn't know they had that. But
Next year, I'm going to send you the reminder.
yeah.
dude, we're going. We're in on these cutlets. We're gonna sit back here. We're gonna have a feast.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we wrapped up our meeting, and he's like, what? He's like, what else do I need to do to get you on board? I was like, you gotta shake my hand, and that was it.
Wow.
And that's how we got to go.
Old school.
I love that. All right, your quote was awesome. So your quote was, choose a great reputation over great riches. Focusing on great riches seldom brings a great reputation, but focusing on a great reputation often brings great riches. And it's something that you say. Where'd that come from?
So
It's a hell of a quote, man.
thank you. It's a it's kind of a mix of a couple other quotes, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Well, that's what R&D is, rip off and duplicate.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I'll never forget this. One of the best lessons I ever learned in business from my dad, and again, consider, used car salesman, right?
Yeah.
Was don't ever close a deal if you won't be able to look the person in the eye after the deal closes.
Wow.
I'm like, makes sense. You know, he's like,
That's
I
great
don't want to
advice.
sell somebody a car and then bump into O'Neill's and like I have to duck into another aisle or whatever. You know, it's like, I something goes wrong, you address it. Not everything's going to be perfect,
Wow.
but you address it and you do it, with integrity. So that's kind of like the basis of like having a great reputation. And then, ironically, in a car deal that I was involved in, very long story short, I had sold a car to somebody. They drove the car to Florida the next day. They lived in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Got to Florida, the car had a problem. Minor problem, but it had a problem. But she was so wigged out because the car that died on her that she needed to buy another car. She was so convinced that like this was just going to be a bad car. So I was like, I'll tell you what, bring the car back. I'm just going to bring the car and the title back. I'm going to give you all your money back.
Wow.
Whatever we need to do. So she did. I gave her all her money back. And she sent me it was like a Bible verse. I'm not like very religious, but
Yeah.
it was a Bible verse, like sort of that effect. Like, basically the better reputation have, the better things that come to you. The more you chase good things, the worse your reputation can be.
Yep.
She's like, this made me think of you, which made me feel like $1 million because I thought she even I gave her money back, like probably like this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah. Yep.
So it made me feel really good. And from that quote and a couple other ideas, that's how I came up with that quote.
Dude.
It's
Love it, man.
funny that you just talked about reputation and being in O'Neill's ducking someone.
Right.
We just had on
Yeah.
Jimmy O'Neill,
Shout out to O'Neill Masonry,
Man.
Jimmy O'Neill.
Jimmy's a great guy.
who we ended the show talking about reputation, and for him, one of the most important things to him and his business is reputation. And he referenced a story recently that he was dealing with in terms of something similar to yours, where he knew he had to make it right, and he might not have been responsible for whatever was done.
Yeah.
But he wanted, because of the value of his reputation, wanted to make sure that all parties left thinking, okay, he's a stand-up guy and he's going to stand by what he said. And sometimes, it may or may not be your fault, and sometimes it's the reputation costs more than what you lost on that car deal.
100%.
Right? So it's just ironic.
So I've heard this plenty of times in my life, and you could do 100 things right and 100 deals go perfect, and those 100 people may never say a word about it. But the one time something goes wrong, and it's not even you did them wrong. It's just that the perception is there that you did them
Something
wrong.
went awry. It might not have been
They
anyone's
will
fault.
tell anybody that'll listen.
Yeah.
It's like, the 100 people won't tell anybody, the one person will tell 100. That one person will tell 1 million if they can. They're gonna, and especially in this day and age, social media and everything else.
Yeah, Google reviews and everything else.
Your reputation is it's so important, right? And I would, obviously I'm in business to make money like the rest of us, right? But I would lose money before I would lose my reputation. I mean, that's how much it means to me.
Yeah.
That's just it's number one principle in my business. And if I have to give a loan away to make something right, I got to make it right.
Do it. Dude, fantastic discussion. So before we shut this one down, why don't you tell our listeners and watchers where they can learn more about you and everything you got going on?
So for anybody that's in the market for a residential mortgage, and it could be your primary residence, it could be your vacation home, your investment property, even some light commercial stuff we have access to, you can check me out at KeswickMortgageGroup.com. You can always hit me up on my cell. You guys mind if I share it?
Sure.
267-688-1973. If you're up, I'm up. I don't sleep that much, and I am always happy to work. Seriously.
He takes 1 a.m. calls. For
my realtor partners out there, same thing. If you're working, I'm working. You need a pre-approval on a Sunday. Somebody came to your open house, call me. I wouldn't give it out if I didn't want you to use it.
Awesome.
Well, that's all we have for this one, folks. Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of Bricks and Risk. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Bricks and Risk.
Our goal is that you walk away with 1 or 2 valuable nuggets, and we greatly appreciate you sharing your time with us today. You can find all B&R episodes on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcast content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.